Tonight on the tagline, we will cover the end of the movie trivia schmodown, a bunch of silly stuff that James Cameron said, and can Ant-Man actually go in Thanos' butt? All that and more tonight on the tagline.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night. It is time for the tagline. We are the Cinefanatics. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
Yep, he is.
Yep.
Way to add to that conversation there. Guys, Thank y'all for being here tonight as we get started. Man, there's a lot to talk about. It's always like an up and down game when preparing for the tagline, in that, like, I really seriously start paying attention to what the news stories are, like maybe a day or two before. And I have the same coffee cup, which should surprise no one. Is it the Boss one?
No, it's his coffee.
Oh, coffee. Yeah. So I start pay attention to news stories and start building everything the day or two before. This one, pretty much all the stories were just given to me on a silver platter. Here, sir, talk about this one. Here's another news story for you to add. This has probably been the easiest week for building up news stories for us to cover. That's a good and bad thing. I don't mean to make this sound like this is all nice and I'm all happy. No, there's definitely some sad news stories, so we'll get to them. But anyways, I always think that's funny, little insight on running a show, building a show, how you would do it. Speaking of which, since we are running a show, y'all know how this goes. Streamlabs.com/Cinefanatics. Any questions, comments, issues, complaints, whatever. That is the easiest way for us to see it. I have a window open here on my computer. If you send something in, it pops up and we'll read it and talk about it. So yes, please make use of that. That would be fantastic. Thank you. Also, patreon.com/Cinefanatics. If you have the means, if you are able to support us and you would like to support us because we're too easily supportive guys, I guess, that would be great. Hop on patreon.com, select the tier that is good for you. Coming up as a part of our Patreon, was it this next Monday? We were going to do it this past Monday, our movie watch along, but it was July 4th,
and that was the day that people were busy not celebrating America, so we're not going to take them away from their non-celebrations.
Yeah, there was nothing else to celebrate, although we probably could have celebrated watching Thor: The Dark World. Ooh, I messed up on the width of that. That's supposed to be full screen, so that looks awkward. Anyways, yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying to do too. So this thing right here, we will be watching this on the 11th. Monday the 11th. That is going to be I don't have the time. Oh yeah, Monday the 11th at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So hop on the do tier. That's the $5 tier. If y'all don't know, that's this many. If you can see my hand right here, that is that many fingies tier for this, and you can watch this with us. That was super awkward.
Oh, it's off the screen now.
Yes. But anyways, yeah, we'll be watching Thor: The Dark World. It just so happens to be where we're at in our watch-along of the MCU movies. So we're just going to go ahead and do a Thor movie because it's time to do Thor. There's a Thor movie coming out. I understand if you may have some reservations about giving us any sort of money this month for the ability to watch what most people do not think of as the greatest MCU movie with us. And I completely understand that feeling and those emotions. There's not any way I could really support or defend the idea of doing that, except we all share the same opinion as you do probably on Thor: The Dark World, and we're going to have a fun time watching it. So
yes, and that opinion, which I thought he was setting up, is actually just...
I wasn't setting that up, but that was a good idea too. Thank you. That's why there's two of us that run this show. So
we have a Thor soundbite. You got to figure out a way to squeeze that bad boy into the Thor plug.
I feel like you could have really phrased that another
No,
way.
I couldn't have.
Well, okay. We haven't thought of another day for the movie trivia hangout that we typically do once a month, but I'm almost certain it will probably be the Monday afterwards.
I'm
I don't
pretty
know.
sure we discussed it already. It is the following Monday.
It will be the following Monday. So whatever the following Monday is, I would believe take the 11th and add another 7 days. That would be the 18th. So we will do it on the 18th.
Math is fun.
Math is fun. So that will be the 18th, and that'll probably be around like 9 Central, so 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. I love running a YouTube show that has helped me learn the time zones so much better. It's like I didn't know military time till I joined the military. So, anyways, that's what we've got going on this month if you're a part of the Patreon. So make sure you hop on the tiers and come hang out with us.
Yep.
Upcoming shows, of course, I've been doing reviews for The Boys over on Ember Productions. We just recorded talking about episode 6 and 7. Episode 6 was Herogasm. There's a lot to talk about on those 2 episodes, and boy, do I like to talk on this one. So be on the lookout for that. That should be up pretty soon. Let me see. Friday night, we will be doing a fan's view of Stranger Things over on Vernon's channel of Fans View. We will be covering, I believe we're covering volume 2 of Stranger Things. We're going to cover both episodes in one episode.
8 and 9.
One more episode left to cover Stranger Things. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. Come join us on Friday over there. That should be at about 7:05 Pacific, 10:05 Eastern or so, give or take. Be on the lookout for any posts, Twitter. You'll be notified that way. Tonight, after this is over, I will be hopping over to a Fans View because we are doing a Fans View of film favorites. We are doing Christmas in July, and we are starting it off by watching Lethal Weapon. So that will be tonight, 8:35 Pacific, 11:35 Eastern, over on a Fans View YouTube channel. Vernon's here in the chat. Feel free to drop a link on that, Vernon, if you would like. So that is all the fun stuff that we're doing outside of this channel. The major fun thing that we're doing on this channel this weekend, because Thor, I was going to say Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out tomorrow in some areas. We will be seeing it tomorrow, so keep an eye out for our quick 2-minute out of the theater review for that. It'll be up on Twitter and on the channel, so that'll be tomorrow evening.
All 4 eyes. Keep all 4 of them out.
I mean, technically all 8. There's 8 eyes here on screen. So
I only have 4.
I love how that used to be an insult way back in the day, and I've never once felt insulted by it. Yeah. So what? I have terrible vision. Screw you. I'm making fun of that. What?
I actually don't have 4 eyes. Technically speaking, I have about half an eye.
Yeah. I mean, my eyesight's just that bad. So anyways, back on topic. This Saturday, we will be starting our MCU tier ranking. Again, this is going to be a weird setup. It's not a normal tier ranking. We're not going to be tier ranking the entire MCU in one episode because we got other stuff to do. But starting this Saturday, we will be tier ranking. It's the MCU, everything from the MCU movies from 2008 through 2017. Joining us this Saturday will be our special guests, Mr. Garth McMurray and Mr. Sean Wingblade.
Hey,
this is going to be a lot of movies to cover real quick, so it's going to be interesting. So again, we're only covering the movies from 2008 to 2017. The following week will be the second round of this. We will be covering all the movies and Disney Plus shows from 2017, or let's say 2018, till today. We are not covering the Netflix or the ABC show. So there won't be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, or Inhumans, even though that would be quite an easy F tier right there off the bat. I think we all agree on that. I want to see if there, I do want to put it up there just to see if anyone on Twitter would be like, why isn't Inhumans an S tier?
Do you know what I just learned that Garth brought up in my Twitch chat the other day?
What?
Hellstrom was a TV show on Hulu.
Hellstrom?
Yeah. That's another Marvel one. That happened.
Hellstrom was one of the Midnight Suns darker, mature characters, I believe.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. It happened though.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, technically, we could stretch it even further. I mean, Legion was a show. There was the Cloak and Dagger was supposed to be. There's Runaways. There's a lot of other shows that are supposed to be somewhat connected to the MCU in some form or fashion.
Legion wasn't.
Huh?
Legion wasn't connected to the MCU.
I don't know. I don't know if Legion actually was officially connected or not.
No,
but
Legion was supposed to be connected to the X-Men stuff.
There was also Gifted. There was that show Gifted or whatever that was also like X-Men adjacent. So
yeah, and at that point, if you start including that, then you got to include all the other Marvel. This isn't like a full Marvel thing ranking. Like we're not including Ghost Rider and the Fantastic Four movies and
no. So yeah, it's only going to pertain to the main MCU that is recognized by, say, like Disney Plus, including the Spider-Man, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. Yeah, that's what I said. Legion and Gifted were only supposedly connected to the X-Men, the Foxman movies, not the MCU.
We should be clear about this. This does not include Venom. Despite the fact that Tom Hardy's Venom did show up in a post-credit scene, or a couple post-credit scenes.
Good Lord.
Despite the fact there's post-credit scenes back and forth, those are not MCU proper. So
I feel like all these like stipulations are now starting to look like the fine print of whenever you sign up for like a cable company or a cell phone company. It's like all the little fine print and stuff. That's
so basically, if you cancel watching our marquee, 30 minutes, and you will not be refunded for those 30 minutes of time you spend watching the marquee. It's fully expected that you should watch the entire thing. But if you cannot, we're not prorating your time watching the marquee. That's just not happening anymore.
No.
Fine print.
The marquee is a marquee subscription service. You are charged for the entire marquee, not a part of it. Anyways.
Wait, hold on. People are like, wait. We're being charged to watch this? No.
No. You're not being charged at all. You're freely giving up your time. And you're giving up the entire 2.5, 3 hour span of time to watch it.
However long it's going to take.
Anyways, please watch it. That would be great. I believe there's going to be a lot of controversy after this one too, because the MCU, everybody see it. Everybody has seen the MCU, and everyone's got an opinion. So
because the Winter Soldier's F tier.
Ooh, you're going to piss off Garth before we even start the show.
Does Chris actually hold that opinion? Find out this Saturday.
Well, I mean, probably, given his opinion of Batman.
That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Anyways, so that is coming up this Saturday. The other thing, I don't have it on our like show notes here, but we just kind of like finalized the idea for this. We're thinking this might be released Sunday. I want to go and do those of y'all that are familiar with Screen Junkies Honest Trailers. They release the Honest Trailers every week, but then they also release an Honest Trailers commentary where they're talking about like all the jokes and their thoughts and everything about the movie that they covered for the Honest Trailer. I want to do that for the deconstructed trailers. So, since the first deconstructed trailer was Thor: Love and Thunder, that's coming out this week. I believe we're going to try to do, it looks like it's going to be a pre-recorded show, so it's not going to be live interacting, but we're going to do basically the same thing as the Honest Trailer commentary. We're going to play the deconstructed trailer of Thor: Love and Thunder. We're going to talk about it. What did we get right? What did we not get right? Of course, there's going to be spoilers for Thor: Love and Thunder in there, so that will probably be released. We're thinking Sunday, so you got until Sunday, or you could just watch it whenever you watch. I forgot that's how time works. It's only a construct.
It's YouTube.
You can watch it later. Just watch it. Yeah. That would be great. But yeah, we'll probably do stuff like that with these with the deconstructed trailer. Do like a deconstructed trailer commentary. I might just straight up take that name and copy that. I don't know. Talk about. That'd be interesting. Anyways, coming up with ideas live. Time is wibbly wobbly. That needs to be a tattoo. I'm gonna get
It's also timey wimey.
Is it Salvador Dali that has that image of like the clock that's melting off of the tree branch? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'll just put the wibbly wobbly behind it.
It's wibbly wobbly. It's also timey wimey. And if you don't know that reference, it's Doctor Who.
Yeah. Anyways, that is what we have coming up. Real quick, I do have Garth is getting our attention with the Streamlabs saying so far there are no dates scheduled in the Texas area for the Clerks 3 The Convenience Tour. Hopefully they'll add more dates and more locations. However, if they don't, I'm curious if you do a long trip to one of the shows. So here's the thing. Probably I like Garth's idea. Deconstructing Deconstructed. It's wordy, but I kind of like it. Yeah, I know.
Deconstructed.
I know that, like, I've scoured Google yesterday trying to see if it's coming anywhere near Austin. I haven't seen it. I know they're going to be announcing a second leg of the tour at Comic-Con. So I'm kind of hoping that there will probably be some like Texas shows in there. I don't know. Like, I think probably the furthest I'd be willing to take a trip for maybe San Antonio, maybe. And that's
about an hour.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half away or so. And in all honesty, that's pretty much completely up to him over there because we'll be using his car to do it. So we'll see. But yeah, I think San Antonio is probably like at most the furthest that we'll go for that.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not driving to Dallas or Houston for a movie.
And I'll be honest, I am kind of expecting it to come to Austin, so I'm not that worried about it. So
yeah,
Austin is a big movie town. It's also like the headquarters of Alamo Drafthouse. I feel like all that is like a good reason for it to roll through here. So yeah. Anyways, let's get to some personal stuff. I know personal for me, we got the Clerks 3 trailer today, which was glorious. Hence all the Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob stuff sitting here. And of course, the Clerks shirt. I really liked it. I know, like, you're not as big of a fan of the View Ask universe as I am. But, like, what was that? I made you watch, like, all the movies or something like that?
Oh, you remembered it this time.
How is it that I'm able to make you watch these movies? Like, I also made you watch Pink Floyd's The Wall, which I have no idea how I pulled that off.
The term "made" is used loosely here.
Yeah, I feel like when you say that, I'm like Clockwork Oranging your eyelids open.
No. You weren't holding me down with some nondescript weapon in my face.
You just had nothing better to do. You're like, might as well.
You're just like, you really need to see this. Okay, I guess I really need to see this then. Hey, you should watch all these movies. Okay, I guess I'll watch all these movies then. I don't know why. I don't know why I agreed to it. It's like, okay, I guess we're gonna do this.
But anyway, so you do have a at least an understanding, a passing like of like the Jay and Silent Bob movies and stuff. When Kevin Smith came to town, we went to go see like a showing of Jay and Silent Bob reboot live at the Movies pop-up. So,
which that was fun.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I love it. That was one of the funniest things about this shirt is if I'm wearing like the button-down shirt over it, all you see is like the words "I ass." It's kind of funny. During the FCL, there was a match that I played wearing that, and it was so funny. Like even just now, if I'm sitting just right, it just says "I ass."
I ass Robert Adams.
Anyways, I was trying to think of some other joke, but I got nothing.
So he's gonna hunch over for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, pretty much.
Me on the other hand, I just want to dance. Now that's a movie reference for you.
What movie is that?
Really?
I Just Want to Dance? Is that Footloose?
No. It was filmed here in Austin.
Oh.
Oh, we're going to take as long as it takes for him to think of this.
I feel like I've seen this. Like, I do remember it's like said real quick, and then the movie immediately cuts to the next scene. They're like, "What do you want to do?" Like, it's a serious conversation. What do you want to do with your life? And the guy's like, "I want to dance," and then it just cuts to the next scene.
Yep.
Is that Dazed and Confused?
Yep.
Oh, I can't remember where that is in Dazed and Confused, but I do remember seeing that.
They were in a car.
Okay.
I just want to dance.
I Ass, the awful sequel to I, Frankenstein. It's great. Anyways, what do you got going on personally?
I got lights. I got a light.
Lights.
I'll put a light back here. It's cheap as hell. It's like $10, and you can see how like bright it is right here. It's because the LED strip is unsticking itself from the back of the shelf. Like we were worried. We were sitting there thinking like, oh, the LEDs lights on this, they're gonna be kind of bad. It's not gonna last that long. They're gonna burn out like almost immediately. No, I think the lights themselves are gonna last forever. It's the sticky stuff on the back of the lights that I don't think is gonna hold to the shelf at all in about a week. I think the whole thing's just gonna fall off at some point. I'm probably gonna be like trying to sleep in the middle of the night. The whole thing's just gonna be like onto the bottom of the floor.
You're gonna wake up. You're like, yeah, figures, and then roll over and back to sleep.
So, yeah, I'll probably have to tape it all up and in key locations here pretty soon.
Yeah, he said duct tape it.
I'll probably use like some clear Scotch tape so you can still see the light through the tape,
or just like little push pins. Don't push it through the light strip or whatever, but just like push it on the outside so it holds it. I'll show you later.
I'm not doing push pins into the shelf.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about what new movies has everyone seen. I'm open to ideas for new movies. I know last week I think it was Jeremy Miller was suggesting Worst Person in the World. I still want to get to that. I've been trying to catch up on some like really like underground horror movies, so which I really don't have that many of on this list this week, come to think of it. So I don't know what I've been doing this week, but
what have you been doing?
You haven't watched any new movies because you're trying to control your new movie list for Letterboxd. So
yeah, this next week is going to be the lead up to the 1000. So after that, I will be back to watching new movies willy-nilly.
All willy-nilly.
All willy-nilly. We're gonna watch.
Wobbly.
I'm gonna watch Thor, and then I'm gonna watch Singing in the Rain. Then I'm gonna watch Alien, and then I'm back to watching whatever the heck I want whenever I want to. Because I'm a free young man in a free country-ish, and I can do whatever I want.
Young men to do whatever they want.
Well, okay. Yes.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Vernon says he watched Reanimator for the first time last Wednesday after Tagline. Yeah, that was fun. Reanimator, that's a fun horror movie, and woo. Yeah, it's a good movie. I caught up on over this past week. I watched the sequel to The Babysitter, Killer Queen. It was meh.
She was a killer queen.
Yeah, and they actually played that song in the movie. I was like, oh, okay,
of course.
Thank God they used that song, because I wonder what would happen if they only got like Bohemian Rhapsody, The Babysitter, Bohemian Rhapsody. It was just doesn't roll off the tongue very well. I watched The Birds, which The Birds was okay. A little lengthy, in my opinion. It's a 2-hour long movie, and the birds didn't start attacking until like until after the first hour. So a lot of character development in that movie. Not my favorite Hitchcock. I think I still prefer Psycho and North by Northwest a lot more. I did the 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which that was pretty decent as well. I like the suspense of it. I think the kind of suspense that they're pushing for in that movie. I think The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing in 1982, did a lot better with it. But I definitely like what they did with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I did watch the new Beavis and Butthead. I like Beavis and Butthead from back in the 90s. Just for some reason, this movie, I it hit a couple of beats I liked, but otherwise, just not really, didn't really like it. And then Life of Brian. Life of Brian was pretty funny. But like Monty Python stuff is very hit or miss for me. I love Holy Grail. I'm not a big fan of Meaning of Life, mainly because of the Mr. Creosote scene, but Life of Brian has some good funny moments in it. So yeah. And yeah, if you watch Life of Brian, that will get stuck in your head for days. Just such an earworm of a song. Yeah, even if you haven't seen it, you just see those words and you're going to start singing. So,
Jeremy said he finally watched RRR. Definitely worth the 3 hours. It's very good. I meant to watch that the other night. Ended up getting too late for a 3-hour movie, so that will be saved for after I watch Alien. That'll probably be one of the first movies I throw on.
Yeah,
I think I want to pick this out because like everyone's been talking about how good and how like crazy insane this movie is. So
yeah, I think I might give that a go pretty soon also. So anyways, that is all for movies that we've watched over this past week. the Burbs. I did like the Burbs more than the Birds. Burbs was pretty funny.
That Burbs.
Anyways, do we want to go ahead and get into some movie news?
Movie news.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
That was weird. I don't know what you're doing. That was odd. Guys, let's talk about some box office. Let's talk about your top 10. What's in the top 10 right now? Top 10 is always fun to talk about here. I believe last weekend we were making predictions as to what would be number one. I was thinking, July 4th, Top Gun Maverick would make it back to that number one spot. Yeah, that didn't happen. Do you know what movie made it to the number one spot?
Would probably be Minions, if I'm guessing.
It's Minions: The Rise of Gru. Ooh, yay! So yeah, Minions: The Rise of Gru made about $123 million. So there you go. And I'm looking at the long weekend, by the way.
Is that also the worldwide, or is that domestically?
That's domestic. That's the long weekend domestic.
So that's counting Friday through Monday?
Yes.
Over 100 million opening weekend?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's a little insane for those little yellow suckers. Apparently Minion fever is still high. I don't do Minions. I think I watched the first Despicable Me and haven't seen any of the rest or any of the Minion stuff. So apparently these guys are a hot commodity still.
Banana?
Child demographic for sure. But I don't know. Eventually maybe I'll give a watch to some of these here Minions and Despicable Me sequels. But until then, Minions Rise of Gru, 123 million. Dang good. Way to go, DreamWorks. Solid. Number 2, Top Gun Maverick, of course. Of course, Top Gun Maverick is still top 2. I mean, that movie's been out for 6 weeks. Where do you think it's going to go? I mean, it's usually movies that's been out for 6 weeks are falling off the top 10 list. This thing is still at number 2.
It was number 2 last week, right?
It was number 2 last week, yes.
Because it was close neck and neck with Elvis.
But it stayed number 2 this week, and number 3 is where Elvis fell to.
Uh-huh.
So Top Gun Maverick made another 32 million this week. Elvis made another 22, almost 23 million. So Elvis is hanging in there pretty good, but yeah, it did not beat out Top Gun Maverick this week. Number 4, we got Jurassic World Dominion at almost 20 million. And you got number 5 is The Black Phone, which you saw that one.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. It is one I recommend seeing in the theater.
And then we've got number 6 is Lightyear. Number 7
is higher.
Yeah. Number 7 is a new release, Mr. Malcolm's List, which I believe we saw a preview for before Elvis. It's a look it up.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Number 8 is Everything Everywhere All at Once, where
That's still crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that's still in the top 10. It's still in the same spot it was last week. Almost everything kind of stayed where it was almost, it looks like. I think, yeah. That's the way it looks almost. Number 9 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which that's kind of crazy that's still in the top 10, given that it's on Disney Plus and it's been on Disney Plus for a couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 10 is that new release from last week, a international release, JoJo Geo. So there you go. Gar says Everything Everywhere All at Once deserves to stay in the top 10 the rest of 2022.
So I'll be honest, I feel like I'm like one of the only people on the planet that did not think too highly of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Granted, I need to rewatch it again. And I feel like that's one of those movies that the second I rewatch it, I'll be like, oh, now I got it. And it will raise higher on my list. Just off of the first initial watch, I was like, this is good, but like.
So what you're telling me is that you're not a fan of Everything Bagels.
I am a fan of Everything Bagels. But the thing is Everything Bagels, it's the seasoning. It's the everything seasoning. It's not the bagels themselves. The bagels themselves are just regular bagels. It's the everything seasoning that makes it good. What I need to do is go back and watch this movie again so I can enjoy the seasoning of it and not just the movie. This is a weird comparison, but I feel like it's somehow working a little.
Everything Everywhere All at Once will end up in nearly everybody's top 10 by the end of the year, it seems. It'd be interesting to see just how long it stays in the top 10. It's at 8 right now. I don't know if it's going to rise back up the list. I think it is slowly going to fall, but I mean, this thing's been out for 15 weeks. It's been out for 15 weeks and it's sitting at number 8 still. That's how many months?
15, so 4, 5. Yeah.
3.5. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that. We'll be watching its career with great interest still, just to see where it goes and what happens to it. So, yeah, that's your box office, y'all. A lot of interesting stuff happening there. We're in a interesting summer season here. I think we got some other big movies coming down the way here. I mean, yeah, next week. Let's talk about
Thor's easily going to take number 1 next week. So,
yeah, I think if you're not predicting Thor to be number 1, then
you're not breathing.
You're not paying attention.
No.
But I think the question is actually going to be, does it bump Minions down to 2 and Maverick down to 3, or does Maverick, the story of this year right now, does Top Gun Maverick stay at number 2 and Minions falls underneath Top Gun Maverick?
That's what I'm willing to bet. See, but
let's see, 123 million opening. A lot of families have already seen Minions. I don't think people take their kids back to the same movie again. At least that's not the way I had it growing up. So,
yeah. Real quick before we move on, keep in mind that we are done talking about the box office. We're about to move on. Garth, lower your speaker volume real quick. Cool.
Why would he have to do that?
Oh, no reason at all. Just, you know.
It's Barbie Watch, everybody's favorite time of the week. That's right, y'all. There is a rumor right now going around that Skipper could be making an appearance in the Barbie movie. And if you don't know who Skipper is, you're not a true Barbie fan, are you? Not one, at least.
Wait. You're a 32-year-old man who has never played with Barbie dolls in your entire life. Are you over here like gatekeeping Skipper and Barbie or whatever?
This has been your Barbie Watch.
This is so stupid.
You're so stupid. Get on board.
Anyways, moving on.
Barbie train's a chuggling along. Get on board.
It's a chuggling along. You've got Lego as like your cheer section here. Let Chris gatekeep.
Lego, that's what I appreciate about you.
That's awesome. Anyways, moving forward, I want to there's a couple of stories real quick I want to quickly get through, just because I don't think we really need to dwell on it too much, especially because a lot of that's why I call quickies. Some of these have already been explained to death on Twitter over the past week anyways, but I wanted to share my opinions on a show and not on a tweet. Apparently there's a $5,000 Star Wars drink at their cruise or something that everyone's like, why would you spend $5,000? There's so much better uses of $5,000. Why would you spend it on a drink? Chris, do you have more information on this? What are your thoughts on this?
So I've been handed $5,000 before. That's honestly, it's kind of a life-changing amount of money in certain situations. To be able to just drop that on a drink is crazy talk. If you need to spend that much money on a drink, keep that to yourself. Please do not tell anybody around you that you don't boast about that. Not the time, not a good time, terrible timing. Don't boast about spending $5,000 on a drink. But to be fair, since this is a quickie, let's actually talk real quick. It's not just the drink that they're getting for that money.
Yeah, does it give you access to Skywalker Ranch for a tour or something?
Yeah, so this is on the cruise ship. So you get a special escort off the ship once the cruise is done. On top of that, you get some memorabilia or something with it, but you also get a ticket for one, essentially, to go check out Skywalker Ranch, which for those who are into Star Wars is a huge deal. Because as far as I'm aware, nobody gets into Skywalker Ranch ever. That is kind of like a holy grail. I don't really want to use it. Okay, bear with me on the comparison. It's like the Star Wars Mecca. I know. I don't think we use that term because it's whatever. You understand what I'm saying? It is. It's the place to go to. That itself can, for a lot of people, make the $5,000 price tag on a drink worth it because you get more than just the drink. That being said, I still would not go and brag to people around you that you spent $5,000 on a drink, even if it does give you one ticket to Skywalker Ranch. Which, by the way, can we talk about how you don't get that for two? Usually it should be you and a buddy. And I think it should be you and a buddy for that price tag. Go to Skywalker Ranch, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. While we're talking about these nice luxurious cruises or something, there's another cruise that I guess is something about Marvel. I didn't do much investigative work on this, but
just what you saw on Twitter.
Huh? Yeah, just what I saw on Twitter, and I'm just going to repeat what I saw on Twitter. Basically, the main point of this next story is the video that plays on here. Whatever Marvel cruise this is, there's a video that they have done that is very cheeky of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Ant-Man addressing that the supposed idea of him going into Thanos and expanding and whatever. That video is hilarious. The fact that essentially this is somewhat of the MCU, Marvel, and Disney acknowledging this idea and talking about it, and then, of course, deflecting because there's no way they're actually going to have a full-on discussion about this, especially the physics and gross.
That was his response to it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, I've seen online that people are saying that, I should have shrunk down and gone inside and killed Thanos in a very creative way.
I almost thought you made the hand gesture of going inside.
Yeah. First, gross. Second, There's actually a legitimate reason why the physics of that wouldn't have worked, and let me explain. And Boss was like, we don't have time for that. So it's the fact that there's like an in-universe canon explanation that he couldn't have done it, wasn't going to ever do it, not going to happen, stop talking about it. Shut up, everybody.
Yeah, it's just hilarious that even exists. So good job, internet. That's the use of the internet for good purposes right there. And then only other thing is what was also announced on the internet today is there is a series. I don't know if this was announced before. I don't remember. There's going to be a series based around the National Treasure movies, National Treasure Edge of History.
It was announced before, yes.
It was announced. Okay. So I don't remember this, but again, I'm not a huge fan of the movies. I might watch the series though. I don't know. Apparently it involves a new character who's trying to find out like the history of her family. And yes, the only returning that I know of is Justin Bartha coming back as Riley Poole. So,
which is great because I love his character in the National Treasure movies. But here's the problem with this. I want a National Treasure 3, which I keep hearing rumors back and forth that they're batting around the idea of potentially doing one, and then they're not doing one, and then they are doing one, and not doing one. I don't know. I want National Treasure 3, though.
Lego. Not that I know characters' names for National Treasure or anything. Yeah.
What's her name? What's her name?
What's whose name?
Her.
Lego?
No. In the movie.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah. This is actually what I'm like. If I'm watching it, I'm kind of hoping for Benjamin Gates to pop up at some point.
I think Nicolas Cage says he's not going to do that, or he's not going to be a part of it, or he hasn't been approached to be a part of it, or something like that. I don't know. It could be one of those Andrew Garfield. I'm not in Spider-Man No Way Home. I love what they're doing over there with it. So I can't trust anything that anybody says anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. This was an actual, and very interesting quote. James Cameron talking about, I guess, Avatar 2 is like over 3 hours long or something like that. And
yeah.
Let's see. So he was saying that I don't want anyone whining about the length when they sit and binge watch television for 8 hours. I can almost... Let me see.
Yeah, he watches like his kids watch 5 hours worth of streaming TV.
Yeah,
in a row without like getting up and going to the bathroom or something. He's like, oh,
here's the big social paradigm shift that has to happen. It's okay to get up and go pee.
I have thoughts on this. I put them on Twitter as well. By the way, Abigail Chase is her name. So here's my thoughts. One, you cannot compare a 3 hour plus movie in a movie theater to binge watching TV on a streaming service at home where you can pause your watch. You can pause the show. You can stop between episodes, whatever, and do your business. Go make food, go call a friend, whatever. This point makes no logical sense, James. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
For example, I need the bathroom right now, but I can't pause this. We're doing a show, so
yeah, you just gotta wait. However, when you're binge watching a TV show, you can pause it. Now, here's the kicker for what I really don't like about his comment here, which is he said, we got to just know it's okay to get up and go to the bathroom during the movie. It's okay to get up and pee during the movie. Sir, if you are telling me right now that there are scenes in your movie that are not important enough that I can get up and go to the bathroom during, then they shouldn't be in the movie to begin with. And your movie shouldn't be that long. But you need to be proud about the product you are putting out, the movie that you're putting out, and be proud of every single scene and be telling people, no, I enjoy the experience. Stay seated, watch the entire thing because I am proud of every single scene in this movie, and you need to see every single scene in this movie. It is dumb to say that there are scenes in this movie that are going to be okay for me to get up and go pee during. No, if you got to go pee during it, if you're saying there's scenes that are okay, leave them out of the movie. Here's a social paradigm shift that needs to happen. It's okay to have deleted scenes in your movie. Put it on the DVD and Blu-ray.
Put a little like toilet icon in the bottom of the corner so we know we could go pee during that scene.
No, that scene should just
so,
not exist.
Here's the thing, like I'm not a fan, like especially in a movie theater, I hate having to get up and go pee because what happens is I end up spending probably about 30 minutes of that movie sitting in that chair going, should I go pee? Should I not go pee? How much longer do I think this movie's going to last? And the problem is that's taking me out of enjoying watching the movie because I'm so busy trying to figure out how to schedule my pee breaks. I think I went during Top Gun Maverick and like I didn't really miss anything. It was right before like the final scene when they were preparing to go fly out. They were preparing, and when I came back, they were like had just started flying, doing that final run. I didn't miss anything. Like I know I didn't miss anything. It was just them prepping. But I mean, I was only gone for like 3 minutes at most.
Yeah, it's still for me. It's still if a person who's making a movie is telling me that I can get up and go pee during their movie, then that tells me that there's scenes in their movie that they're not proud enough about, which is absolutely ridiculous considering how long it's taking this man to make Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. I swear. If he's sitting here telling me that it's okay to get up and go pee during his movie, then, homie, you need to delete some of those scenes out of your movie.
I almost thought it would be funny if he was like, yeah, there needs to be a paradigm shift here. It's okay to have a catheter inserted while you're in the movie theater.
I don't know about that one. That might be a little too far. It might be
especially if it's a catheter that stays like with the seat. You go to sit down. You're like, all right, I need my my giant. What do we say here? Like 85-ounce Diet Pepsi. So I need that. I need my big bowl of popcorn. And if someone can help me with the catheter down here, I need.
I don't care if this ruins our layout here. I'm not on board with that. What? Stays with the seat.
It stays, so it gets cleaned in between shows.
No,
granted,
not well enough.
Granted, keep in mind that if you've ever been in a theater after the show's over, typically you may see like the 15-minute countdown that the people have to clean the theater before they have the next show. It will probably be a little bit longer than 15 minutes. But
what's the next part of this story?
I actually like this idea. Why were intermissions done away with? Granted, I know like back in the day, if we're talking about like a 4-hour long Gone with the Wind, there was an intermission for that. It's 4 hours long. Makes complete sense. But I mean, there's still like even today, I see the need for intermissions. Maybe just like a quick 5-minute. I'm sorry. Robert talked so long I had to go pee. Oh yeah. I like the idea of intermission, but I believe we're at a time now where like time is so precious that they're like, dude, just screw it. Show the whole movie, get through the movie, let them carry on about their day.
There's not going to be intermissions anymore because they want to crank out as many showings in a day as possible to maximize profits.
Yeah,
so they're not going to put intermissions in movies anymore.
If you miss a part of the movie because you have to pee, that's your fault.
Come back and watch the movie again. Spend more money. Hey,
bring a catheter next time. We're not providing one.
So apparently he's not directing 4 and 5.
Yeah. So there's also this thing that he was saying that he may not direct Avatar 4 or 5 to let someone else like play in that world. Basically what it sounds like is like, man, I'm going to be dead tired after making Avatar 3 and I'm not going to want to make any more of these. So like, I'll let someone else do it and I'll just executive produce it sitting behind a desk this whole time.
Now, what this sounds like is that he's really banking on the Avatar movies to become like Star Wars and just be that new science fiction world that everybody always wants to be part of, which, you know, to a degree, we saw some of that from the first one. There's a large amount of people out there that love the world of Pandora and wish they lived in it or wish they lived in a world with more Pandora or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of wanting to pull a George Lucas here in hopes that he can get some other folks to direct some of the movies that he comes up with, which, I mean, he will. He'll find directors for him.
I think that's all going to reside based on how well the second movie is. If the second movie doesn't do anywhere near as good as the first one, which is an extremely high bar for it to hit, if it doesn't pull that off, I don't see this franchise lasting until like 4 and 5. I think that if it tanks, there's going to be an immediate like switch to, let's just make this a trilogy and just cap it at that. Because that's a lot of money for, in this case, well, I mean, it is Disney's money now, so and Disney has a lot of it, but that's a lot for them to invest if there's a sudden drop off between the first and the second movie.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think they'll do all 5. I actually think that all 5 will happen. James Cameron has produced really good movies and box office bankable movies. I think all 5 of them are going to happen. I don't think that these movies. Here's the thing. I know like your opinion of the first one, and I know like there's like the general populist opinion, which is now to generally leans towards hating on the first Avatar movie because whatever reason, insert your own reason here. Avatar 1 is not actually a bad movie. The story might be a little derivative, and by a little I mean a lot. It might be a lot derivative. It's not a bad movie. It is a good movie. It's got a good story. It's got great characters, great special effects. I think all of these will be decently good movies. So I think we're going to see all 5, but what scenes is it okay to kiss during, James Cameron?
Means how invested in the kissing are you? Just
what scene in this movie can I touch my ponytail to her ponytail?
Don't do that in the theaters because again,
don't do that in the theater.
They'll
guys.
spend extra time like really scrubbing. I know they're already like scrubbing and sanitizing for COVID, but
you should definitely wait till you get home to touch ponytails.
Yeah. Anyways, next story I want to move on to, and I don't know if this is a full on like reason for this, but you know what? We just started this last week and I kind of liked it. I want to do it again. So once again, it's time for our segment of Hey, Feige Family Update.
Hey!
Forget about it. We're going to talk about some MCU news. Hey, even though this doesn't really involve Kevin Feige, but I mean,
it's the wise guy with the Feige guy. Hey.
Anyways,
I don't care how stupid that is. I'm leaning into it forever.
Fluids, guys. Fluids.
Hey, don't worry about it. I got
don't worry about the fluids. The
Forget
fluids.
about it. Forget about your
the fluids flow. They're okay.
Hey.
So fucking gross.
We have 8 people watching us, and I don't know why. Thank you all for being here.
Hashtag Feige Family.
Also, shout out to Jesse Swift here. How's it going, man? Appreciate you being here.
Anyway. I completely agree with that, actually. Anyway, so this was actually kind of interesting. It's not really a full MCU announcement. It was, I believe it was Joe Russo was talking about the idea of potentially directing the X-Men movies for the MCU. He was saying that he owns a copy of Incredible Hulk 181, which is the supposed official first appearance of Wolverine. I know if you're a comic book collector, that's actually debatable, but we're not getting into that. But he said that's like his most prized comic book, and that he would like the opportunity to do the X-Men movies justice. Here's why I think this is super interesting. You look at what the Russos have done for Marvel so far. Captain America, Civil War. I mean, we can go back. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. All of these movies are like super massively long. Nice penguin impression, guys. That's
sweetheart.
Kind of where it comes from.
Yeah, I think that is where it came from.
It is. They're used to doing these movies with like these full gigantic casts, and I think that's what X-Men needs. Again, I feel like we talked about this like a week or two ago. We're talking about movies that had like a lot of people in it, namely like the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 3 just had way too much jam-packed into it, not only with like Spider-Man and Mary Jane, but then you also had like the New Goblin, Sandman, Venom, J. Jonah Jameson. You had all these characters that all had to have some kind of a hand or foothold in the story, and it was just way too much. like the Russos are able to wrestle everyone in for one solid storyline, and I think they could do really well with the X-Men franchise.
I trust them at this point. I mean, look, in terms of like MCU, they've produced, spoilers for our marquee coming up, they produced probably the vast majority of the S tier movies of the MCU. I mean, we're talking about Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. Like, these four movies are some of the best movies in the MCU.
And I'm almost willing to bet they'll be in the third marquee episode at the end of this month also.
So, right. So he's not talking about the Russo brothers. They're not guesting on our little channel. That'd be wonderful. In fact, if you guys actually happen to see this and you want to come on to our Marvel ranking, we will make sure to put all of your movies in the S tier.
Give my phone a ringy dingy. We would love to have you on.
You can DM us on Twitter. We are at these handles right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Anyway, so yeah, I trust the Russos, like you were saying, with like, especially with ensemble casts of that kind of a nature. I think, first of all, they also show that they're huge fans of the Marvel property. So anything Marvel, I think they've already got a pretty good handle on and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But secondly, I think the X-Men really could use a solid boost, a solid director, or in this case, directors, to really give it a fresh, give it that fresh feeling, because we've obviously been used to the X-Men movies as they've been for so long now. The Hugh Jackman Wolverine, your Patrick Stewart as Professor X, or even the First Class movies, the James McAvoy, all them. I think you need a fresh coat of paint on this, and I think you got the Russo brothers who are very capable of giving it a solid fresh coat of paint and do something new, different, and something that feels right. One, right out of the comic books, and two, right in line with what the MCU is doing. Because they've been in the MCU. They know they've been around the block a few times. They know how the MCU works. They know how Kevin Feige works. They know how all their other fellow directors who are also on board as producers work.
They've destroyed it and brought it back.
They've destroyed it. They've brought it back. They're capable. They're capable of all of this. So I think if they announce the Russos are doing X-Men, I would freak out. Now, without drowning on too long here, I will say the other end of this is we like the MCU to experiment with new directors too, to bring in new directors to try out some different things and give spotlights to other up and coming, directors and whatnot.
Yeah.
We love to see that because they've done pretty well with that. I mean, you look at John Watts with the Spider-Man movies. The Spider-Man movies are good.
And he was
John
about
Watts,
to do Fantastic Four, and we were all going to be like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because we saw 3 of his Spider-Man movies, and we're like, yeah, I think he's got the right tone for it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I think that Marvel is capable, if they want to, they can find a good director with a good vision for the X-Men. But also at the same time, if they go back and lean on the Russos, I'm fully on board with that. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, definitely would love to see that. But anyways, I'm going to move on. Let's get to our main topic tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's going to get a little sad here, y'all.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Stop singing your high school graduation song, okay?
It was my high school graduation song.
That is such a weird high school graduation.
No, man. That brings a tear to my eye every time.
Although mine's not much better. My high school graduation song was Free Bird. I graduated high school in 2000. Why Free Bird?
Oh, yeah, because 2007 was not the right time for It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday.
Yeah, that's so weird. Anyways, those of y'all who watch us, again, I feel like every time I bring this up, everyone just already understands. Most all of y'all who watch and follow us on a regular basis, we're all fans of the movie Trivia Schmodown. Yes. Do you have something to add, or?
No, I'm waiting.
You're just going to take a really impressive drink or something? I don't know.
Yep, I'm waiting.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No, we're not mentioning that yet. You can put the drink down. It will get mentioned, though.
Okay.
But y'all know that we are fans of the movie Trivia Schmodown. We did reactions to it. I did play in an episode of the Schmodown, and we both played it. Got him.
You ass.
No, wait. There we go. I ass.
Those of y'all who don't know that, we do a drinking game. Every time he mentions his one match that he actually played in the studio for the Schmodown, we have to take a drink.
So funny. Anyways, now I just do it on purpose because, like, anyone who actually is trying to participate in that game, now I just want to, like, hey, drink up. Anyways, yeah, we've done reactions. We've had connections to the movie Trivia Schmodown for a while, and it was just announced this past Friday that this will be the final season of the movie Trivia Schmodown. It is the reboot season, but unfortunately, we don't know the details behind the scenes. It hasn't been officially announced the reason as to why it was canceled. I know right now there is a lot of people speculating. I think there's some of the stuff that I've seen on the internet. Some of them I believe are true. I from a business point of view, I would assume that a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. I feel like the pandemic and the switch to the digital, I think, is probably a majority of it. Mm-hmm. There's a couple other things here and there that I feel like may not have been like fully a part of it, but I think that they're like little pieces on top of the pandemic. I feel like the pandemic is probably the major reason why. Skybound, I guess, purchased the Schmodown right before the pandemic started, and yeah, I know that they did that on the big thing, I believe, this morning. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I do want to watch it. But yeah, like Skybound purchased the Schmodown right before the pandemic, and there was this whole plan for like touring and everything, and then the pandemic happened and everything just got shut down. All of Christian Harloff's story ideas, there was this whole like Schmominati idea that was going on, just completely like collapsed. We did get it back. I mean, so he did continue that storyline, and I do like what he did with it, but yeah, it didn't work so well with the digital age, and it was kind of hard in that case doing like a lot of the storylines and stuff that I know Christian really loves doing with the Schmodown. It was kind of hard to do it in the digital age. And even with us over in the First Class League, there were some storylines throughout the First Class League which I thought were done very well, given the fact that all of the First Class League was digital. But in some cases, like I know for the two of us, some of the storyline that we had was easy for us because we live together. We can just at any moment just pop up a camera and film something real quick. But that, again, that's not a true reflection of how the whole property was. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Yeah, I know. It's so hard to be able to be a fan and look at this as to why something that you love as a fan, why is it going away? And just, yeah, Vernon, let's go to a random gazebo and film. Yeah, pretty much.
What's he talking about?
Yeah. I mean, so again, my belief is that it primarily was because of the pandemic. The thing with this is, with it going away, I don't believe this is fully the end. I'm not sure who is going to do what or who can do what. I'm willing to bet.
This is pure speculation, by the way. This isn't based on any kind of true reality of any kind of specified information that's been given to us.
We have no inside information as to what actually is happening with this. I do believe that someone will revive it in some form or fashion. I don't know if it's going to be Mark and Christian, But the reason I believe this very strongly is before Skybound took over, the Movie Trivia Schmodown YouTube channel had 305,000 subscribers. It had subscribers that it had built on its own with maybe some what do they call
Buddy wants to... Sorry, it was there.
No, thanks. That really was helpful. When they got sponsorships, what was it, Manscaped, Blue Chew, and stuff. When they started getting these sponsorships, that's when you see that hey, this is a YouTube channel that is growing. These sponsors are wanting to sponsor this YouTube channel because they know that they are gaining these viewers. They are gaining the support. Tori, what's a Schmodown? Woo, we got a long way to go.
Tell you when you're older.
Yeah. But I mean, it was growing. There is a proof of concept here. The Schmodown is a successful show.
Yep.
In this case, though, since it's Skybound that had the ability to say yes or no on it, Skybound saw something in the way that it is, the way it's running, the way it's going. It wasn't growing in the way I guess that they wanted to see. That doesn't mean it's a failure. It's just not how Skybound wanted to see it. And I'm not trying to say this to make it sound like this is all Skybound's fault. They're a business. They're allowed to do what they want to do with their business. We run the Cinefanatics. If for some weird reason the Cinefanatics is no longer succeeding as a channel, you blame us.
By whatever metric.
First and foremost, I would put it on completely us. Look at what I would say the best example. Yeah, blame me. Look at Blockbuster Video. Those of y'all that are familiar with Blockbuster Video, if you're not familiar, it used to be a place you could physically drive to go rent movies and take them home. You watch them, you are kind, and you rewind them, and then you take them back to the store. Blockbuster was very prevalent during the 90s and the early 2000s. And then you started having stuff like Netflix started popping up. Netflix, originally, when they first started, they did mailing DVDs to your home. You watch it and then you return it in a prepaid envelope. And there were other things that were starting to kick up like that. The slow shift from it going from physical media to digital media where you could just rent the movies and stuff. And Blockbuster did not keep up with it. I think they started trying to do a Netflix type of scenario where they could mail you the movies instead of you physically coming to their store. But by the time they implemented that, it was too little too late and it was already done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that case, the reason why Blockbuster shut down and closed, you blame Blockbuster. They didn't adapt to it.
They did not learn what you should have picked up from Friends, which is pivot.
Yeah. And again, this isn't necessarily, I don't want this to sound like it's bad. I'm blaming the Schmodown. This is completely Christian's fault. No. I mean, Christian was someone who was running the Schmodown with Skybound. You run a business. If the business isn't getting successful, you can blame the people who run the business. That's not a bad thing.
I'm not talking about blame.
No. But when you run a business, you have the ability to make business decisions. Some of them are good. Some of them are not good. But I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
Yeah, you kind of
I'm kind of diverting off into a drain that I don't feel like I can rescue myself out of.
So what are the wins? What are the opportunities?
Yeah. So overall, the Schmodown is successful. It is a successful show. Mark and Christian had done a phenomenal job of getting it over 250,000 subscribers. That's fantastic. I can't wait to have over 250,000 subscribers.
Things happened. It lost its steam and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Close the door to the room. I don't know. Rhyming.
But I mean, even still, right now, the last time I checked, the Schmodown only dropped down to 290,000 subscribers. That's
it didn't actually lose that many.
That's still a shit ton of subscribers. That's still a lot of subscribers.
Yeah. Yep.
So again, the proof of concept is there. It does work. It will work. It just didn't work say, for Skybound, what they were wanting to see on that.
That being said, again, would be very, very surprised if there's not something, maybe not the rest of this year. Maybe we hear something next year at some point. This is my prediction. We hear something at some point next year. Somebody will do something movie trivia show related on YouTube who's been a part of this community. Someone who's been a part of this community, I'm sure, will do something. And we'll probably get other members of the community on board. I don't know who would have the time or the energy or the desire to do it, but I'm sure someone somewhere in this community will absolutely do some kind of like movie trivia something on YouTube again, and we'll try to essentially restart what the Schmoedown could be or should be.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think that's not like a copyright thing. I think doing trivia in general is not really something you could copyright. You could copyright, in some cases, you could copyright the format, the way it was done, what is used in it. But I don't think you just can't copyright straight up like trivia and how it's played. So I definitely believe that it will come back in some form or fashion. Probably not with the same name.
No,
I don't know.
I would expect the Schmoedown name is done.
Yeah. I don't know if this is something Mark and Christian could do themselves. I'm almost certain that they probably have some kind of a non-compete clause with Skybound for at least a little while. So something like that was like when Conan O'Brien was hosting the Tonight Show, and then all the gigantic mess that was. He wasn't allowed to go do another talk show for like a year and a half or so. So he went on tour and he did his like show visiting cities. And then he did his Conan show on TBS. So kind of the same idea. I don't believe there's probably going to be some time in there before Mark and Christian could be allowed to do something like Schmoedown again. But
which, to be fair, Christian is talking about going around and doing stand-up and doing the big thing live in various cities as well.
So pretty much almost exactly what Conan was.
So almost exactly what you just said is kind of the direction Christian seems like Christian's wanting to head right now. So
yeah. And I would love to support him doing that. So come to Austin or somewhere close to Austin.
Yo, if he comes to Texas, I'm down.
Yeah. So I like that idea that there's a very strong possibility it's going to survive. I don't know. Again, I don't know if Mark and Christian are going to do it. I don't know if they want to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, they have the energy, desire. If it's still going to be there.
But I believe it will come back in some form or fashion.
Yeah. Now, the other side of this conversation, which has been brought up on Twitter, I wanted to make mention of this too, because I've seen a lot of this as well, is that there's people out there thinking this is a work. This is just another a storyline that's like, hey, here's the thing. There is a way to do that storyline. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. There is a way to do that storyline where everybody knows for a fact it's a storyline, but they're playing into it and having fun with it anyway, going, oh, you have someone like Grace, who was the commissioner for a little while. You have her come in and be like, yeah, I'm shutting the whole thing down. This is done. I'm just ending this, whatever. And then you have other people who are like, unless so we can save this thing. We got to save this thing. We just need a big investor to come in and save it. And that's the kind of storyline you do when you do actually have a investor. You have another investor lined up who's going to play into it. You have like a Skybound type person who's going to come in and be like, boom, we got it. And it's going to be bigger than ever. We got plans, blah, blah, blah. We got this done. And by the way, you commissioner who's doing this, we're kicking you out. Boom, there's your storyline. You're not making a storyline when the announcement is, hey, yeah, we've got a few more matches we're going to air, then we're going to do a spectacular, and that's it. And it's going to be done. We thank you so much for watching and being a part of this for the last, so many years. Bye. That's not a storyline. Mm-mm. Because what you're doing there is that you're essentially telling the people who are on your Patreon, it's okay to hop off Patreon now. There's not going to be anything left to support. You are losing whatever kind of capital you could still be making from the product right there, because you're giving no indication that there's anything to salvage or save. That is a bad business move if that is a storyline. So, that being said, people who are clamoring, nope, just a storyline, are not taking into consideration the reality of the situation, which is that, yes, there are individuals who are hired and are working for the Schmoedown that are no longer going to be able to have a job. There are people who have been competing in the Schmoedown for years, who have loved this thing and have put their time, effort, blood, and sweat and tears into playing and being a part of this, that are no longer going to be able to do that.
They've put their backs and their tables and other people's tables into this thing.
And other people's backs into those tables.
Backs into those tables.
Yeah. Maybe you got to really think about that kind of stuff before you start going, nope, not real. Definitely not real. It's just a storyline, and just kind of rubbing it into their faces that no, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. I saw, apparently Jill from a certain point of view, she tweeted out about this, how much it was upsetting her to see people talk about this, and rightly so. Mm-hmm. Definitely makes sense. And one of the things like I commented on there is like, here's the thing. If this really was a work, then in that announcement that Mark and Christian did, they would have said something along the lines of, hey, the Schmoedown is closing down. Unless we can find some kind of an investor to save it this year, this will be the final season. They didn't say that. They just flat said, this is the final season. They didn't leave it open for a storyline to grow out of that announcement. Yep. It's just flat, this is it.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's not a work. Stop saying it is, because it's upsetting people.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't, like in this case, I feel like it, kind of like what you were saying, I feel like it would be mean to the fans to, like, especially at this point, like, I'm sad that it's going. Like, I feel like the Schmoedown was a big part of one of the things I really enjoyed about YouTube and the internet over the past couple of years or so.
Yeah.
Getting to meet everyone, going to the live events and stuff. I've got more friends because of the Schmoedown than I do that I typically see and am able to interact with in real life. And I mean, that's huge to have that. And just to sit there and do a storyline where, oh, never mind, we're kidding, it's still going on. No, that's not good. At running an entertainment show, that's not what you want to do to your audience. So, what are you dangling? Oh yeah, dangling the string, pulling it away.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Now we talk about like the good memories, because yes, well, I'm sad that we had a really good storyline going in the FCL that we don't get to see come to fruition. We'll say this much, because I don't think that storyline will ever be completed in any capacity in the future. Yes, we were going to team up. The idea of the story was going to be that as much headache as I was giving him the entire time, it was just all a work that we were both in it together the entire time, and we had a whole plan, the whole tackle and everything. All of it was just a giant ruse just to get us together as a team in the FCL. That was the plan from the beginning, kind of a situation. I would have loved to see that storyline go through. I think that would have been a lot of fun.
Forcing Brad Gilmore to put us together as a team. Well, I mean, that last shot that you saw, he put us together as a team, and then he dropped off, and the two of us sat there and just started like giggling, like, haha, we had it planned the whole time. Yeah, that was going to be a lot of fun.
Because I mean, it kind of reflects reality a little bit, where in that when they announced the FCL and they didn't say that there was going to be any teams a part of it, we were like, yeah, but if there is teams, we're already a built-in team, just saying. So it kind of reflects reality in that we were wanting to do teams to be from the beginning anyway. Mm-hmm. Especially in our first like promo or whatever, when we were announcing that we were going to be a part of it or what have you. We did the whole, nope, there's no teams.
Smacking the chips and whatever.
So, I mean, I love that storyline. But regardless of that, I am actually like really proud of, even though I lost most of my matches, I'm really proud of the time and the effort that we put into the FCL and what the FCL put into, because that has been some of the most fun I've had, being able to create a character and act as that character while also simultaneously answering questions about movies online. That's just like the nerdiest thing ever, and it was so much fun to do.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that. The one actual episode that I was on, that was fun because that was, yeah, go ahead. Just how nervous I actually was on there. Like, that's like, even looking back now, like, and of course I know how I was feeling in that moment, but just seeing the nervousness on my face is so funny now. I love going back and watching that episode. Like, dude, you got to snap out of this. You are missing these questions. Hurry up.
Sit in the right chair. Sit in the right chair.
Sit in the right chair. Oh, okay. In all honesty, I do have to skip over that part. That is so cringy to me now. I'm like, how did I mess this up so bad?
Cringe.
Oh yeah, I can't stand that part. But the rest of it's all good.
The problem is, or the good thing is, if you don't mention it, then it makes so much more sense that it's like, oh yeah, he was just pulled from the audience. For the general populace, people who weren't on the social medias or dived into like the deeper communities of the Schmodown, they had no clue. They were like, okay, this random guy coming from nowhere. All right, cool. No one told him where to sit. Makes sense.
Yeah. But it's like, I know where to sit, and I was just so nervous. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And so I would still say, like, to Mark and Christian, thank you for creating the Schmodown. When I originally found it, it was exactly what I was looking for. It was what I was hoping for. Real quick, if y'all don't know the story, I was just randomly one night after I got home from work, I was like, hey, is there any kind of like movie trivia? I like playing movie trivia. I store movie information for no real reason. I like playing movie trivia. I was like, there has to be something like that on YouTube. And let me search YouTube. And I just randomly came across a Schmodown match. I think it was like in its third season by then. I don't remember what the first match I watched was. I believe it may have had Kalinowski in it, but that's about it. But yeah, like, it was exactly what I was looking for at that time. And I love that it took up a good portion of my life for a couple of years. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. It made me happy. It was a nice cathartic get away from it all. Come home from work, sit down, relax, pour myself a nice glass of like whiskey or something, some bourbon, and answer some questions while watching and playing along. Getting him involved with it as well, telling him to watch it. He starts watching it. He turns around, gets me
Clockwork Orange style. He told me Clockwork Orange just forced me to watch it.
Sit here and watch this. I wasn't into like the storylines at the time. I really just liked the trivia. He got into the storylines, and then he got me into the storylines. And then we started this YouTube channel. And then on top of that, we decided, hey, let's just do reactions. Let's film ourselves playing along with it. And I mean, it's all grown from there. And it's been a huge journey with this, especially on this channel. This channel, especially during like the pandemic, there wasn't any movies. There wasn't really anything. We could have pivoted ourselves. A good example here. There was stuff we could have done during the pandemic with this channel that we just did not do. And for a while, it cost us sitting at the same amount of subscribers and not growing at all for well over a year. And that's not what I wanted this channel to do. Pretty much for that entire year, all we were doing was just reactions to the Schmodown and Schmodown content. We weren't talking really about movies or anything at all.
To be fair, they were doing it like damn near every day, so there was stuff for us to do damn near every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Kudos to like POV for doing the reactions along with it as well, like 4 times a week. Just oof. That was a lot, but it was fun and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was good content. But that was where we needed to step away from doing Schmodown reactions and come back and focus on this channel being about movies. And then the Schmodown's like, hey, you want to play in this First Class League thing? We're like, sure, why not? So,
yes,
absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, the Schmodown will always be a major part of the existence of this channel.
Mhm.
We will always be referencing it. We'll always be talking about it. Whatever it is to become, I hope to have like some kind of a connection. If someone's able to bring it to what it is right now again, I hope to be a fan right there in support of that as well. So anyone who is doing something Schmodown related, we're going to support you. Put on a good product, like keep it alive, and
which also goes to say all those personalities, all those individuals that you have loved the entire time who've been a part of the Schmodown, it is now on you as a fan of them, as a lover of what they have done in the Schmodown, to go and share that love and spread that love to their other projects and everything else that they're doing. If you have liked the content they've produced on the Schmodown, go and show some love and go support them on all their stuff, because there's plenty of personalities, plenty of people who've been a part of the Schmodown who are doing all sorts of stuff. You've got movie critics like Bibiani who are out there, writing articles and talking online. Go support him and what he's doing. You've got people who are jumping into movies like Guy and Roxy. You go support them and love what they're doing. You've got Ben Bateman, who's touring around doing his music, and obviously him and Guy have their channel. You support their channel. You go show up to his show, buy some music whenever he releases it for sale, that kind of stuff. I mean, so many personalities. Dan Merle's got his own channel. Roka's got his own channel. Everybody, after shows have their own channel. You even have like POV who have got started from doing Schmodown reactions. Now they're having to pivot because the Schmodown's done. They're changing their channel over and doing some other kind of content. Hang out with them, go support them still, because they're still wanting to stick around and provide great content too. So, I mean, everybody who's a part of the community who's doing something. Secondary, like, we love having you guys here and supporting us, even though like we aren't Schmodown personalities first. That was kind of like second or third to us just wanting to get on YouTube and talk about stuff. We have gotten a family and a community out of the Schmodown, which we love and appreciate. So those of y'all who are here, recognizing us and knowing us from that, we love y'all's support. So the same kind of support you bring us, bring to the other personalities as well, because everybody's out there doing their thing, and they've got so much love for movies and stuff to share still. So that's my little soapbox I wanted to hop on real quick.
brought a tear to my eye.
No, he didn't. Shut up.
I'm quoting Star Trek Generations.
Right.
Plot twist, I might have been interested in competing in Inner Geekdom. I don't know. Was I? We'll never know.
I was thinking about Star Wars. Was I? Yes, I was.
You were actually looking at Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Anyways, so much love to Christian and Mark, everyone involved with the Schmodown. Especially, like, I also want to shout out the First Class League. I know that was a huge endeavor to take on for that. What it was created to do, being a developmental league. I loved that idea. I thought it had like really good like foundation into why it's existing. And I hate that it doesn't get more of an opportunity to continue to flesh out that idea. It was so much fun being a part of that, though. And again, for that, I do want to say, like, thanks to like Brad Gilmore, PLD, Steph Sabra, Dwayne Burke, Josh Howe. I don't know if I'm forgetting. I don't know like too many of the other writers. I guess Matt Thomas here was also one of the writers.
It's the reason I lost my matches. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Blame the writers. No, don't blame the writers.
Everyone who worked on the First Class League, there was a huge
gonna do,
amount of
suspend me?
dedication. The what?
What are they going to do for blaming the writers? They're going to suspend me.
Yeah, just to bring you back and then not do anything. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone who was in charge there with the FCL, everyone had, as far as I could tell, a good passion and a desire to put on a good product, and I thought it was done very well.
Yeah.
Especially the fact, again, being able to pull off storylines in a digital age, not just our storyline, but all the other ones. Like, I was eager to see what was going to become of this Sinister Syndicate thing with Maxwell, like, teaming up with the Sinister Syndicate at the very end. And, like, where was this all going to go? Who was going to be able to take away Travis Fishburne's belt? Could anyone stop mystical Brendan Marr? Don't know. But
will Chris ever shave his face?
Yes, you can go shave your face now.
Yeah, here's the thing. Side note on that, like I was actually going to, at some point, ideally we as a team would win some matches, and then I feel like I earned the right to be able to shave my face again. Take that, Travis Fishburne. And then that storyline never happened, so now this is the remnant of the FCL just hanging out on my face. I'll probably just end up shaving it off at some point anyway, just to regrow it and whatever. I don't know.
He said the remnants of the FCL is the peach fuzz on his face.
This is not peach fuzz. If you see a peach that's this dark, put that peach down and pick up a different peach.
And buy a different peach.
Buy a different peach.
This was so good.
That was hilarious.
The internet takeover between Furtado and John Knight, that was so good. Like, yeah, so much fun, so many memories. God, the Schmodown live event in Houston, I think a lot of people are always saying that's like a major turning point for the fan and competitor interaction.
I mean, that's what we were talking about while Bateman was here.
Yeah. That was like a major part of the show.
That was such a good. That was like, I think a lot of people, I think even Christian himself might have looked at that and said that's kind of the idealistic scenario of what I want a live show to look like. Mm-hmm. The crowd was obviously smaller than some of the other live shows, just because it's kind of a interesting crowd setup with the ring, with the wrestling ring there.
Larger than the other ones that we went to.
It was, well, there was more people in that crowd than there was that first spectacular that we went to, mm-hmm. But that's beside the point. But it was the energy. It was the energy of that crowd. The energy of the crowd at Houston was crazy. The show that they put on was a risk, I think, for a movie trivia show to be able to pull off and do, but they pulled it off. And they did it. The thing is, like, neither one of those matches were even high scoring matches. Like, both of them were pretty well full on blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that they still did a lot of like really good talk in them, really good storylines. They did some really good storylines with them, and the production value of the show itself surpassed the trivia at that point and actually really sealed the deal on it being a really cool show. So, I mean, you got that. You got the spectaculars where they did like the fun. I love the whole faction thing that they were doing at that one spectacular. And then let's talk about like Smets coming back after his fight, mm-hmm. and coming back, and just the energy there for him coming back. Like, that was. Man, all those moments were so great. Like, the live shows were where it was at.
I do like the so real quick, this last spectacular when Smets showed up at the end. That one I thought was funny because like, I didn't see Smets, but I saw his wife and his daughter, and his wife holding his daughter, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's about to go down, and then they went into that storyline. I'm like, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just all of it's always been really well done. You could tell that everybody who's a part of it always had a passion and a love for the game, for the show. So it is sad to see it go because of that reason, because like everybody loved it. Everybody who was a part of it, who made it happen, loved it. The fans, they loved it. For better or for worse, there was a large, well, for better, there was a large amount of the community that was just always so hyper passionate. Like every fandom, you know, you always had like your few toxic people here and there, but luckily I think for the Schmodown they were always like few and far between and only ever on Reddit. Everywhere else was pretty good. What? Sorry, what?
This is so funny.
Did I say something? Anyway, that's why I love the Schmodown. It's always had like a really good community. The people who put on the show, the people who watch the show, all the way around. And it's been, I think the thing about the Schmodown that I love the most is how interactive the individuals who do the show were with the community. To the point where I don't know of a single other fandom or anything where individuals who watch the show have the ability to actually participate in the show if they're passionate enough about it. How many like after shows get competitors on to interview? How many after shows got so prominently known and pushed by the creators of the show themselves? Said, hey, go. Anybody who was like a part of the community doing anything after show wise that was like known by any amount of the community at all, Christian was right there going, hey, watch that show, watch that show, watch that show, watch their show. And he was always telling people to go watch all these after shows. Like
that reminded me. Go back the Schmodown episode I was on. You want to have a drinking game? Like take a drink every time Mark Ellis says Senate Fanatics.
No, don't do that. Alcohol poisoning is a terrible thing. But yeah, there's just so much to have loved about the community of Schmodown, and I'm very interested in seeing how this community is shaped going forward, because obviously without the show airing weekly, doing live events, anything, the main thing that's the glue that's been holding us all together is kind of worn away now. So now it just becomes about the friendships that we've made along the way, and letting that be its own glue. So hopefully we find an excuse to go out to LA again.
Yeah.
Obviously not necessarily for a live event, but
well, yeah, we still don't know if this spectacular is going to be a live event in LA.
Not sure if Christian's mentioned that yet or not.
They haven't officially announced it. I'm willing to bet they're trying to see if maybe they can do it, but it's a matter of like how much is Skybound wanting to help out. Again, just assuming here, making a business assumption. How much is Skybound? It will not be. I can confirm. Okay, well, like, how much Skybound would be willing to shell out to allow them to have that one final hurrah? Because I guarantee, I mean, you want to make some money, there's how you make some money, because everyone and their mom would be coming to that final spectacular as the last official live show that we could all go to. I mean, had we known that this past spectacular would be the last like live show we could all go to, probably have a lot more people that would have shown up to that. But
yeah. Yep.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like a downer. Again, I fully believe that some form of the Schmodown will continue, will be created, and we'll all meet again, like Vera Lynn saying, we'll all meet again some sunny day. Yeah. Don't know when. But for right now, again, much love to all the creators, all the competitors, everyone involved with the Schmodown, all the fans who supported it. Even, I guess, like the toxic fans were supportive at some point. Just like
you go in weird directions sometimes, man.
I know. I'm trying to put on like a kind of like a humorous product while talking about something sad, but
we don't think the toxic fans. You guys can go shove it.
Anyways, thanks to everyone who's been involved, supportive, watched it. It's been great. I can't wait to see what could potentially happen from here.
Yep.
But that'll do it for tonight. So, Moving on real quick, just to recap a couple of things. You can catch me doing reviews of The Boys. I know we've got one that we filmed last night that should be dropping pretty soon.
In the can.
There's the finale this week, so be looking for one more episode of The Boys review with me over on Ember Productions. There's a fan's view of Stranger Things. We will be covering Volume 2, the last 2 episodes, I believe this Friday. Maybe 7:05 Pacific, 10:05 Eastern, somewhere around that time frame. So go check out a fan's view. Also, come check it out tonight because it's right after we're done here. I'm going to head over there. We're going to be watching
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. It's written on the stupid document, and I can see it, but for some reason, can't get the words out of my mouth. We're going to be watching Lethal Weapon, celebrating Christmas in July. So come hang out with us. That's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Also, hop on the Patreon. Join at the $5 tier. You would be able to join us on Monday. Yes, this coming Monday, we're doing a watch along of Thor: The Dark World. Again, stupid editing for this image here.
Don't call it. I'll just deal with it. Yeah.
Anyways, come join us for that. That will be Monday the 11th at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. As long as you're at the $5 dude tier, you can join us for that. I think the following Monday, we're doing the movie trivia hangout. So if you're at the Maverick tier, you can join us on that. And then...
this just in, Nerd is shouting in our chat. Okay, carry on.
Nerd is shouting. So read what Nerd's saying.
There's a nerd shouting in our chat. Commentating nerd is shouting. Okay.
Commentating nerd, yes. That's who we refer to when we say nerd. Not just us.
Not just all you nerds.
And then, of course, this Saturday, make sure you come join us for The Marquee. We will be ranking the MCU movies from 2008 through 2017. This is going to be a weird setup for this Marquee, so make sure you come join because we are doing 3 Marquees around the MCU this month. We will fully explain and detail everything this Saturday, but yeah, we will be joined by special guests Garth McMurray and Sean Wingblade. So that will be a lot of fun. Let's see. We're seeing Thor tomorrow, so be on the lookout for our quick, out of the movie theater, 2-minute review on Twitter and on this YouTube channel. And then this idea that we have about doing the commentary for the deconstructed trailer of Thor: Love and Thunder. That will probably be something that will be out on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. Whew, I got a lot to work on, y'all. So anyways,
busy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. So make sure you follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And Chris.
You can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, where we are streaming and having a lot of fun. Obviously, come hang out on Sunday specifically. We're doing family game night, and I would love to have more people to jump in and be a part of that, have some fun with us, because we have a riot of a good time on Sundays during Jackbox games. So
I was there was a couple of things this past Sunday. I was laughing so hard I was crying. It is so much fun doing Jackbox games, especially if you're someone who's a member of this community. Come hang out. Come join us, because a lot of these, the best ones, are getting to see your personality and just getting to know you. And man, if y'all have ever played Jackbox, you know how much fun that is. You know how much fun it is if you're playing with someone that you know, personally. Come know us personally and have fun with it, because it's a blast. So
yeah.
Watch Chris yell at Fall Guys.
Yo, I want to put my head through a wall in that game.
Yeah. Anyways, come watch him do that, I guess, on his channel. Just as long as you're back in time to do stuff for Cinefanatics, so make sure you don't damage your head too much.
Yep.
Anyways, that is going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being part of this. And we will see y'all, I guess, tomorrow with our review or whatever. I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah. Who knows? Anyways, go check out the Clerks 3 trailer reaction we did earlier today. Go watch that. Go share, like, comment, whatever YouTube stuff. Go do that to that show. Anyways, see y'all later. Good night.
Bye.